In this digital age, we are more connected than ever before, yet many people have never felt so emotionally distant. This distance is not only from others but from themselves, from their emotions, relationships, and purpose. One of the hidden causes behind this growing emptiness is pornography. It promises pleasure but silently takes away connection, focus, and fulfillment. This is what I call the digital divorce, the separation between the real world and the virtual fantasy. Pornography changes how people see love and relationships. It replaces emotional connection with instant gratification. The more someone consumes it, the less they value real human intimacy. Real relationships require patience, care, and vulnerability, but porn offers a shortcut that costs the soul. Over time, the mind starts to prefer pixels over people. This digital pleasure begins to feel easier, safer, and more exciting than real emotions. But that excitement is temporary, while the emptiness it leaves behind is lasting. Science shows that pornography literally rewires the brain. It floods the reward center with dopamine, the chemical that drives pleasure and motivation. Each click, each video, gives a rush, but like any drug, the brain builds tolerance. What used to excite no longer does, so users crave more extreme content. This chase leads to addiction, emotional numbness, and the inability to feel joy from normal experiences. Many young people report losing motivation, struggling with focus, and feeling detached from real life because their brain's pleasure system is hijacked by constant digital stimulation. Beyond the brain, porn affects daily life and productivity. It eats away at time and energy that could have been spent on goals, family, and self-growth. It isolates people, replacing social interactions with secret habits. Confidence drops, guilt rises, and self-worth slowly disappears. The screen becomes both the escape and the prison. The tragedy is that many don't even realize how much it's affecting their emotions, ambitions, and relationships until the damage is deep. On a moral and societal level, pornography has normalized the objectification of others. It teaches people to view human beings as products of pleasure, not souls with feelings. This mindset erodes empathy and respect, two foundations of healthy relationships and strong communities. When instant satisfaction becomes the goal, the beauty of patience, love, and genuine human connection fades away. Society begins to lose its sense of meaning, replacing it with a cycle of endless consumption and emptiness. But the story doesn't have to end there. Awareness is the first step toward freedom. When people understand how porn manipulates their emotions and rewires their desires, they can begin to reclaim control. Reconnecting with real life means valuing authenticity over fantasy, choosing discipline over indulgence, and seeking connection over isolation. It means remembering that pleasure without purpose leads to pain, but purpose guided by self-control leads to true peace. The digital divorce can be reversed. By breaking free from the screens that numb our hearts, we can rediscover real love, real intimacy, and real happiness. The key lies not in escaping technology but in mastering it, using it to build connections, not destroy them. Real life, with all its imperfections, will always be more meaningful than a million digital illusions. It's time to reconnect, rebuild, and choose reality over fantasy, because nothing digital can ever replace the beauty of being truly alive. Pornography creates a silent emotional gap between people and their real partners. It replaces genuine intimacy with artificial pleasure, training the mind to expect perfection that doesn't exist in reality. Over time, users begin to compare their loved ones to unrealistic images, leading to dissatisfaction and frustration in real relationships. Emotional connection, which thrives on vulnerability and effort, gets replaced by the instant reward of fantasy. As a result, love starts feeling like a burden while lust becomes the easy escape. Communication fades, trust weakens, and affection feels forced. Many couples struggle to maintain closeness because one partner's mind is already occupied with digital illusions. The constant consumption of porn dulls emotional sensitivity, making it hard to feel genuine love or empathy. It creates a cycle of loneliness. The more one watches, the more distant real intimacy feels. Eventually, this emotional numbness becomes the foundation of broken relationships and isolated hearts. Pornography affects the brain in the same way addictive substances do, by hijacking the reward system with an overload of dopamine. Each time someone watches it, the brain experiences an intense rush of pleasure that feels rewarding in the moment but damaging in the long run. Over time, the brain adapts to this overstimulation and begins craving stronger and more extreme content to achieve the same level of satisfaction. This leads to tolerance, where normal experiences and real-life interactions no longer bring joy or excitement. The brain becomes wired to seek constant novelty and instant gratification, making self-control harder. Motivation for real goals starts to fade, as the brain prioritizes short-term pleasure over long-term success. Studies show that excessive porn use can shrink gray matter in areas responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. This rewiring also weakens willpower and focus, trapping individuals in a cycle of craving and regret. Slowly, they lose interest in real intimacy, ambition, and creativity. What began as curiosity turns into dependency, and what once seemed harmless ends up controlling the mind. Porn addiction often leads individuals to withdraw from social interactions, preferring the comfort of virtual pleasure over real human connection. This isolation slowly erodes confidence and communication skills, making social life feel uncomfortable or unnecessary. As energy and focus shift toward instant gratification, motivation to work, study, or pursue goals starts to fade. The result is declining productivity, procrastination, and a growing sense of emptiness. Over time, this cycle of isolation and inaction creates deep frustration and self-blame, further pushing the person away from real life and into digital escape. Pornography deeply impacts moral values and weakens the fabric of society by normalizing lust and objectification. It teaches people to see others as bodies for pleasure rather than human beings with emotions and dignity. This mindset erodes empathy, respect, and commitment, leading to a culture that values desire over discipline. As moral boundaries blur, relationships lose sincerity, and families suffer from a lack of trust and purity. Ultimately, a society addicted to instant pleasure forgets the meaning of love, faithfulness, and true emotional connection. In the end, pornography is not just a digital habit but a silent destroyer of love, focus, and human connection. True freedom begins when we choose real emotions over artificial pleasure. By disconnecting from digital illusions, we can reconnect with ourselves, our purpose, and the people we truly